All right.
person.
Call to order the June 27th, 2019 Springboro Board of Education meeting. Roll call.
Stuckey?
Here.
Anderson?
Here.
Bath? Here. Palage?
Here. Okay, stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
1.2, adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
Stuckey?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Bath?
Yes.
Palage?
Yes. Okay, item 1.3, approval of the June 13th, 2019 meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Stuckey?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Bath?
Yes.
Palage?
Yes. Item 1.4, approval of the June 22nd, 2019 special meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
This is mine now. Yes. I mean,
Move.
move.
You messed it up.
That's
That was yours.
That's mine, and that's all yours.
I'll second it.
I was voting on it.
Okay, that's Stuckey?
I'm just gonna be quiet. Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Bath?
Yes.
Palage?
Yes. All right, item 2.1, Springboro Education Association report. I don't believe we have anybody here. Item 2.2, Springboro Classified Employees Association report. I also do not believe we have anybody here. 2.3, there's no public participation prearranged. And I don't believe we have anybody from the public here for item 2.4 for public participation. So with that, we can move into work session.
And tonight's entire work session belongs to Andrea Cook.
All right, for text adoptions, we have 2 text adoptions, and I'm going to have Chuck Wiggins present the 2 text adoptions that we have for this coming year.
So we're very pleased to offer a new environmental science class at the high school for next year. It's becoming a very popular course in area high schools, and we have 2 excellent teachers who are planning on teaching it next year. And we reviewed several textbooks to choose this one. It's called Environmental Science.
Creative name.
Yeah, a study of interrelationships. So that's the environmental science textbook. And then for 2nd and 3rd grade, we are updating our Journeys textbook, which was a 2012 adoption. We're updating to the 2017 adoption for 2nd and 3rd grade. Really trying to concentrate on that early learning of literacy to help our children really be ready to read by the point that they need to be. And we felt like the 2017 edition gives new resources for that. Better writing program, better word work and phonics, and also they have a much more tiered approach to intervention now with the system. So we thought that was all very helpful for our 2nd and 3rd grade teachers. So those are the 2 textbooks, if you have any questions.
Everybody looks at me. I do. So can you explain to me how the level, like with Journeys, it's good to hear that there are the different, it's helping them do more differentiation.
Yes.
Are they different books that they're going to be reading along with that, or is it all done through the Journeys?
It's all built into the teacher's manuals with some additional supplemental materials that are for those struggling readers. In the past, they only had a write-in reader,
Right.
and now they have a more intensive intervention that is underneath that to help support those readers more.
And then
So-
the writing part is also
Also listed up.
great. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions on the textbook?
3.3.
All right, our next agenda item is for the purchase of Newsella. Newsella is a online subscription that we have used for years at the upper grade levels, and we're moving Newsella into the lower grades. It is informational text that is leveled, typically nonfiction, but there is some fiction available in there. So the students do a pre-test, Newsella gives them a reading level, and then it continues to give information to them that is at their reading level, with questions at the end of many of the readings that allow them to take an assessment to move their reading level up, and then their subsequent reading levels will be at that higher reading level. So this can go all the way on up through the upper high school levels. So starting in our 2-5 buildings and taking it all the way through high school. So this is the first year that we've had that many buildings. So that is why you're seeing this on the agenda, as it exceeds our limit for purchase without board approval.
I didn't realize that it differentiated based off of their levels.
Yes.
The nice part
That's
is for
awesome.
science and social studies, the teacher can assign the same article, but it levels it for the students so that they're
realize
reading
that.
at their level.
And
So
they
it's
don't,
really
yeah,
nice.
they don't know that the neighbor's reading at a
Yeah.
different level.
So it's the
So
same
Tara's a
text,
higher
it's
level,
just-
I don't know
that's
that.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Or vice versa, whatever.
That's awesome.
Any questions on New Zelda?
3.4.
Oh, just one quick question. So what we were buying that, you said for the upper grades?
Yes.
What were we spending on that before?
Well, 2 grade levels versus all the way to elementary, likely under 15.
Yeah, so the amount here isn't, it's not entirely incremental, because there would have been a cost before, so the
Right.
incremental.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
That's what I'm
yes.
saying,
So
like what we're paying, it's not like it's $30,000 incremental, it's a smaller amount. than we were
Exactly.
already paying.
And we've been using this since I was a principal at the junior high, so it's been around a very long time.
Why hadn't we done it at the lower levels before? Was
We
it
were
not
using
available?
different reading,
Was that the weekly reader? Is that
yeah, several, most of what they were
Oh.
doing at that level at the time was hard copy text. New Zelda is an online,
Mhm.
so we weren't using as much online at the elementary levels as we are now.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, our next item up for the agenda is Mind Play, and this is a subscription that, we talked a little bit about this a couple months ago. Mrs. Babb, you brought up artificial intelligence, and this was the example along with the Alex program for math, and I had said at that time that we were going to double our subscription to this. So this year, all second graders participated utilizing Mind Play for reading, another online subscription, another leveling, and an artificial intelligence base, where again, they're pre-testing, finding their level, and then working from their level on up through college level reading. So this is going from a subscription of 500 students to 1,000 students. So again, this is coming to the board for approval because we're in excess of our limit for purchase without board approval.
So my concern with this,
Mhm.
which I'm sure you know what my concern is, it is a program from Bob Summers, which my question is, did we look at other options to know that it is the best option? That there are not others that,
Yes.
I don't know this program, so is that definitely the one that's going to give us the best results from your experience?
What we did this year, go ahead, if you don't mind passing that down. I brought some data for you because I thought there might be some questions on this. What we did this year was we participated in a study with Dr. Heidi Clues from University of Cincinnati, whereby in our 4th grade classrooms, we brought in different online programs as well as our typical classroom instruction without an online program. So she did an in-depth study of reading with regards to using different online programs as well as teachers who were not using any online program, but rather instructing as they would without anything on the computer. And Mind Play overwhelmingly, I can't get you the white paper that she wrote on that, but Mind Play overwhelmingly brought the best results. We were not the only school district in that study, but we put forth a lot of effort and research with regards to knowing that we were purchasing a program that worked with Springboro kids, as opposed to, say, for instance, Cincinnati Public only. So this was a wide study of different types of schools, suburban, and I said, you know, if we're gonna look at different reading programs at the cost at which these come, I'd like to be part of that study so that we know what works in Springboro with our children. So this is the data from the Mind Play for this year with our second graders. And you'll see the grade level movement. We started the program across the board for second graders in November, and they worked up until May. We do have some data here. I put June because some kids are still hopping on. They'll have access through the end of July. So that's why I'm showing November to June, because we still do have a few that are hopping on at home. And the blue will show you that in the first pre-test, we had 49 students that were exceeding grade level. In our last post-test with our children, we had 380 that were exceeding grade level. Meeting grade level, we started with 214, and that shrunk it to 168 with the push for more of those students bumping up into the exceeding level. The yellow is approaching their under grade level, but they're nearing grade level. Now keep in mind, they're taking a second grade test in early second grade. So we would expect that they would be around that approaching, and then by the end of the year, meeting or exceeding. And then critical, we had 261 children who were 2 years or more below grade level, and then at the end, we ended up with 97 at that point. So approaching grade level, that 78 and the 97. So we can see that the program has worked very well for our children in second grade with roughly 1.7 grade level movements from November through May. And then, like I said, we had a handful who are still on the program at home.
Do we have any data about, like, did all of our kids in this grade do this?
Do Mind Play? Yes, we had roughly 500 children involved, so all
There's
children.
nobody to compare it to the kids that didn't do it, if this is just typical results of students that would see progress because they were in a reading curriculum progressing from November through May. That's what I'm just curious. Kids are going to progress.
It was all second graders who were involved. So I think our best data, this is good data, I think, but I think our best data is gonna come from our fall third grade test. And that's why we chose to start the program in second this year, because we know that we'll have a fall test for them in third. By the time we would have started the program in third, not having tested it on our own Springboro children, knowing that it would work, they wouldn't have been on the program long enough for the fall test. They would have been on the program plenty of time for the spring test, but that early data wouldn't have been there for us because they would have been tested right around the same time we started the program.
We also did an incremental phase-in of that because we actually did a small pilot the year before in the spring with several of our teachers, and we used that as the basis for them trying a whole grade level. So actually spring of the 17-18 school year, we did a smaller pilot so we can compare that small group to the other population. And then we phased in this last year to the whole second grade.
So what does the 48,800 cover? Like,
That covers online access for all children in grades 2 and 3,
for
as well
1 year?
as special needs students in other grade levels that have a resource classroom where their teacher can work with them on reading. So when you look at the quantity of 1110, you're probably going, we don't have that many second and third graders, so we have included
Right.
our special needs population.
That makes sense. And is this price similar to like what our Alex program is of how they use?
Alex runs, depending, this gets a little bit sticky, but it depends on what programs we have in place at what grade levels, what our price point for Alex is. I think the typical price point for Alex in grade levels that we do not have that company's math programs in place outside of Alex, it runs roughly about 35, whereby this is running around 32. We're gonna look for any of these programs to run somewhere between 30 to 40, some are in excess of that, but that's about typical right now for AI programs, the 30 to 40 range.
And did we explore any other artificial intelligence programs for reading?
We did through the university study.
And we also had a small pilot of Lexia's Core 5 at Clear Creek Elementary this past year.
So Lexia was part of the UC study, and then we also had a separate one that we're doing on our own.
You're saying the results of the UC study were that this particular program was the
Yes.
most
Yeah.
effective?
Yes.
So what other districts around us are using this?
Let me pull up my list here.
You knew what my questions were gonna be, Andrea. You are good.
We just like to come prepared.
You're good, I'm impressed.
Okay, Benton Carroll, Lima City Diocese, Bethel Tate, Greenview Local, Ashland County, West Holmes, Penta Career Center, Dayton Public, and Lebanon.
And Madison Local, Sydney, Versailles, and Northmont.
Anybody else have anything at another school?
I was gonna just start saying something. Just kidding. I know.
So will this be evaluated after this year? Like, is this a one-year contract?
It'll be evaluated primarily after we get our third grade results from the fall test, knowing that these children have been on all of second and partial third. And then we'll do another evaluation when we get our third grade spring results. And then it is a one-year contract only, yes.
It is a one-year. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate all the additional info.
No problem at all.
Mr. President, we have no committee reports for this meeting, nothing else for the work session, so we can turn it over to the treasurer.
Okay,
Can we go ahead?
go ahead.
Item 4.1 is the approval for the fiscal 2019 final amended appropriations and the fiscal 20 temporary appropriations. So we closed the books this morning for fiscal year 18-19, and so this will be the final numbers that I'm submitting to the county, which are due June 30th. So we're right under the radar there. And then the fiscal 20 temporary appropriations allows us to start doing expenditures and revenues to the county auditor until we do our final appropriations for the beginning of the school year, which is in September, October-ish. That will also come back to the board. So that's what those are. 4.2, approval of payments of invoices, transfers, investments of funds, and appropriation adjustments for fiscal 20. This is the statutory thing that's on the very first agenda, or on the very last one, I should say, of June to start the fiscal year for each school year. And then 4.3 is approval to renew our liability, fleet, and cybersecurity insurance with Liberty Mutual from July 1 through June 30th of this year. We did go up 11.3%. It's just under $20,000 increase for our insurance, but at least we still have insurance, so we're good. And then item 4.4 is approval of items 4.1 through 4.3.
Is there a motion to approve 4.4, which is the approval of 4.1 through 4.3?
Second.
Discussion, questions?
Stuckey,
Abstain.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bath,
Yes.
Palage.
Yes. Okay, we'll move into human resources.
Oh, here's Karen.
Thank you. I'd like to present to the board the June personnel report. It's pretty standard. So far, we've employed 19 teachers, and we still need a third grade teacher at 5 points, which is in the works, and then 2 intervention specialists, one at the high school and one at SI, and we anticipate one at Clear Creek coming here shortly.
And then you want to do 5.2?
Oh, 5.2, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have it. Do you have that?
Yes.
I would like to submit, or to present the administrator contract for Mari Ruther, who is going to be the new curriculum coordinator for the secondary level. She comes to us from Edgewood as an assistant principal. She's got a lot of passion for curriculum and students, a lot of energy. She could not be here this evening because she had a prior commitment. Did you want to say anything else about Ms. Ruther?
No, we're really excited to have her. She's already asked us for work. We told her to enjoy her last summer with nothing.
So we'll vote on 5.1 and 5.2.
Yep, so 5.3 is the approval of items 5.1 and 5.2. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, questions?
Stuckey,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bath,
Yes.
Palage.
Yes. Okay.
Finally, I will present 5.4, which is our camp and club workers. The list will continue to get longer like it did last summer. So far, it looks like basketball is in and a little bit of youth football.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve item 5.4?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Okay, Stuckey,
Abstain.
Anderson,
Yes.
Bath,
Yes.
Palage.
Yes. Okay. Item 6.1, approval of the text adoptions. These are the ones that we talked about earlier in work session. And then 6.2, I think, is the approval of the Newsella subscription, and 6.3, the approval of the Mind by subscription, so.
Yes, sir.
So item 6.4, the approval of item 6.1 through 6.3, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I should appreciate that you're doing one-year contracts and are gonna then evaluate, because I do still have questions with Mind Play, but as long as it's being evaluated based off of the data from that first year, I appreciate that, and I'd like to look at it again next spring.
We're happy to do that.
Thank you.
Stuckey?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Bab?
Yes.
Palage?
Yes. Okay. 7.1, board member reports, comments, questions, future considerations.
You guys enjoying your summer?
It's
Crazy town right now.
I don't have anything. Still good to get some updates on Facebook, I guess, seeing the teachers being recognized for some things and students being recognized. I appreciate those continuing to come through. Kind of helps the community see that we're still have good things happening, so that really was it. That's
Scott has
honesty for
been-
that.
Scott's, I think, in North Carolina doing that, so he's staying up on it, so.
Okay, I don't have anything, so item 8.1, is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
Stuckey?
yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Bab?
Yes.
Palage?
Yes?